Gates, Garden Gates, here to talk to you for our next little bi-monthly garden info. We're going to start off with a question that I had from a friend named Rick, who wants to know about pruning his shrubs, whether this is the right time of year, and he wants to know what he can do about all those bees that are out, because he's not too fond of them. And the short answer is yes, it's a great time to prune. And for you, you might want to make it a little more of a time. In other words, you might want to try going out early morning or later in the evening, late afternoon, early evening. And most of those little bees will be trotting on home with their pollen and their honey and calling it a day. So it'll be a little safer. Another question that I've been getting a lot of is, what's biting? There are lots of people having bites, and this one came in from Maggie, who was afraid that maybe something in her garden was attacking her. There are critters in the garden that will bite, especially if they think that you're going to hurt them accidentally or they get caught in your clothing. Particularly common are the little mites, the little red mites that you see walking around. Some of them are gray, most of them are reddish, and they will bite. Those are chiggers. They're not going to go after you, but they will defend themselves if they think, even if you're not even aware of them, but they think that you're going to give them a hard time. Also, there are, as I mentioned before, the tiny tiger mosquitoes that can lay eggs and grow in something as small as a thimble or a cap top. Another question that's come in recently, in fact I've heard it a few times, is can we still plant tomatoes? There are lots of tomatoes in the stores. No, I wouldn't suggest planting those tomatoes, as lovely as they are in the store, unless you have a greenhouse. Our weather, we're having shorter days, our weather's getting cooler, and they're just not going to do that well at this time of year. You'd be better off to get them started in very late winter, early spring. Another question came in to me recently from a friend of a friend who inherited a lotus, which in fact I grew from seed and gave to that first friend. And she's grown it on in a pot for a couple of years, but the trouble is that lotuses are bog plants, and they really need the nourishment of being in a pond, whether it's the edge of the pond or sunk in a pot in a pond, but they need the water from a pond that's going to have more of the nutrients they need and let them be in full sun without you growing nasty things in the water like mosquito eggs and without them being attacked by insects like aphids. So, if you have a pond or you know someone who has one, do please find a home for it there. It'll do better. Another repetitive question I've had is, what should I put in on my lawn? I want some grass, but I really don't like those big water bills, and I'm not really happy with maintaining. Should I use gravel? Should I keep my lawn? Should I use an artificial lawn? Maybe in the future we'll go into a lot more detail, but right now the quick answer is, if you have enough room, how about a little bit of everything? Keep a little bit of lawn where it's useful to you, where you're going to use it for sitting on, or it's in a particularly good place to look at, or it blends really nice with the garden, or you have children or pets who want to play on it. Possibly use synthetic lawn in an area that's really harder to care for, just a small patch. It might even blend into your regular lawn if you keep it separated with a garden. And then make sure you have plenty of garden space in there where you're growing drought-tolerant plants, because those are the ones that are going to save you money, give you show, and make your garden look real pretty. And you can also use gravel instead of an artificial grass or any regular grass, or just on its own. But think of using interesting colors so you can make nice designs. Make it into something artistic. Too much gravel, too much artificial building up in your yard, increase the heat in your home. More plants, and yes, lawn, and you're adding more humidity to your air, more oxygen to your air during the day, and something that softens your environment and keeps it healthier. Okay, so that's about it for now, and I would like you to tune in if you'd like in another 2 weeks. In the meantime, If you have any questions, if you want your name mentioned, I'm glad to do that. If you want me not to mention your name, we can do that too. But by all means, either put them on my Facebook page, on the YouTube page that will have this, that joins to this link, and let me know, and I'll be glad to answer your questions. They will be brief, but I'll do the best I can. So let me know in the comments sections. In the meantime, have a great couple of weeks. Thanks.